The story introduces Elizabeth, the third princess of the Kingdom of Lions, in a bar where Meliodas serves his customers with the help of his talking pig, Hawk. The patrons are startled by the appearance of the Rust Knight, who later turns out to be Elizabeth in disguise. She stumbles upon Meliodas, who is the owner of a bar called the Boar Hat. Unknown to her initially, Meliodas is also one of the 7 deadly sins, specifically the dragon's sin of wrath. Elizabeth is on a quest to find the 7 deadly sins to help her defeat the Holy Knights. As she explains her mission, the Knights of the Beard of the Mountain Cat Order arrive, having been alerted by the civilians about the Rust Knight's presence. Elizabeth flees, leading to a chase. However, she and Hawk manage to fend off the Knights. She explained that these Knights have staged a coup d'etat, overthrowing the king and forcing the kingdom's citizens, including children and the elderly, into military activities. The situation escalates when the Holy Knight Twigo arrives and identifies Elizabeth as the kingdom's 3rd princess. In a dramatic turn of events, Meliodas rescues Elizabeth from Twigo's attacks. He identifies himself as the dragon's sin of wrath and swiftly defeats Twigo, Meliodas inviting Elizabeth to join him on his journey. As the game unfolds, Yuichi grows increasingly suspicious that there might be a traitor among them. He realizes that the previous questions were strategically designed to halve everyone's debts, with the exception of the final question, which will decide the fate of their friendships. The coin, to everyone's surprise, slides towards the wrong answer for the initial questions. Sawaragi, in a moment of frustration, almost breaks the rule of speaking during the game, but is stopped by Tenji and Yuichi. As more questions are answered incorrectly, Yuichi's suspicions intensify. He recalls a past incident where Shibe confessed his feelings to Sawaragi and was rejected, hinting at possible tensions within the group. Yuichi's turn to pose a question reveals a twist. There's no predetermined question, and the questioner must come up with one. Moreover, answering no would halve the questioner's debt. Yuichi deduces that the previous participants intentionally answered no to reduce their debts. This realization is further compounded when Yutori's turn to question reveals that she has the highest debt, implying that someone had planned to offload the entire debt onto her from the start. She poses a deeply personal question. Will we still be friends after this? The atmosphere is tense, as the group's trust in each other has been severely tested. However, in a surprising move, Yuichi breaks the tension by asking a cheeky question about Sawaragi's underwear, violating the game's rule against speaking and doubling his debt. The village of Burnia celebrating the revival of their river with a party held at the Boar Hat. Meliodas is praised as a hero by the villagers. However, the festivities are interrupted when Guilt Hunter, wanting to verify if the removal of his sword was merely an accident, hurls a spear charged with his power towards the village. Meliodas quickly detects the incoming threat and steps out, pretending to use the restroom. Meanwhile, Elizabeth, who has been struggling with her new role as a waitress, steps outside, feeling down about her perceived incompetence. As she laments her inability to be of help, Meliodas comforts her, emphasizing her determination to save the kingdom and reminding her that without her, he wouldn't have been found. Their conversation is cut short when Meliodas intercepts Guilt Hunter's spear, preventing it from causing harm. He then throws it back with such force that it destroys Fort Solgales, where Guilt Hunter is stationed. Back at the fort, Guilt Hunter realizes that the 7 deadly sins are still alive and active. Meliodas, Elizabeth, and Hawk deciding to leave Burnia to continue their quest, understanding that their presence might bring more danger to the village. Meliodas, Hawk, and Elizabeth as they venture into the Forest of White Dreams. This forest is notorious for being so dangerous that even holy knights avoid it, making it an ideal hiding place from them. Within the forest, they encounter prankster imps, inhabitants of the forest, who use their abilities to impersonate Hawk and Elizabeth in an attempt to mislead and confuse the trio. To figure out the real Elizabeth, He first asks you to raise your right hand and put your left hand to your cheek. Then he asks you to say his name with a confused face and then massage your breasts. And the last test is to jump as high as possible. The real Elizabeth didn't do this, as he took off her panties beforehand. After overcoming the prankster imp's tricks, the group follows them and stumbles upon Diane, the serpent's sin of envy, who is found sleeping in the forest. Diane, the serpent's sin of envy, waking up and joyfully reuniting with Meliodas, her captain, after 10 years of separation. However, her happiness is tinged with jealousy when she learns of Elizabeth's presence. Meliodas recounts the fateful day when the 7 deadly sins were summoned by the great holy knight. Upon their arrival, they discovered him impaled by multiple swords. This shocking scene was immediately followed by an ambush from the kingdom's knights. Meliodas instructed the group to scatter and regroup later. He reveals that his memories of the events following the ambush are hazy, but he recalls waking up in a pit where he eventually met Hawk. As the group speculates about the possibility of a traitor among the 7 deadly sins, their discussion is interrupted by the sudden appearance of a massive thundercloud. From it, Guilt-Hunder, a holy knight, descends and binds everyone with his lightning magic. Elizabeth recognizes Guilt-Hunder as a holy knight who was close to her father and was like a brother to her. However, she soon realizes his true intentions when he mentions that while the kingdom prioritizes her safety, she is merely an obstacle in the path of the Holy Knight's rule. Guilt-Hunder challenges Meliodas to a duel, and during their intense battle, Meliodas purposefully allows Guilt-Hunder to wound him. In his seemingly dying moments, Meliodas cleverly extracts information from Guilt-Hunder about the whereabouts of 2 other members of the 7 deadly sins, King and Ban. Guilt-Hunder reveals that while the locations of 3 members remain unknown, the fox's sin of greed, Ban, is imprisoned in the Bast dungeon, and the grizzly's sin of sloth, King, is believed to have perished in the capital of the dead. After obtaining this information, Meliodas quickly recovers, indicating that he had tricked Guilt-Hunder to get the details about the 2 deadly sins. Thank you for your viewing. If you like the manga recap, then don't forget to subscribe to the channel and put a like under this video. Also, write in the comments which moment you liked the most. The title of the manga is The 7 Deadly Sins, chapters 1 through 6.